The worst harm comes from those we least suspect. That's not modern wisdom. That's Marcus Aurelius, emperor, philosopher, and Stoic. For over 2,000 years, the Stoics have warned us, not against storms, not against poverty, not even against death, but against people, not just the enemies we see, but the ones we welcome in. This is a guide to 5 people the Stoics warned us never to trust. 5 patterns of behavior that threaten the peace of your inner citadel. 5 silent poisons that can corrode your soul if you let them. First, the constant flatterer. Their praise feels good at first, but like sugar, it gives no nourishment, and too much will rot your character. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "How worthless are these men who praise without judgment. Watch for those whose compliments never cease. A true friend corrects you. A flatterer just echoes you." Seneca warned us, "It is difficult to discover the truth, but it is impossible not to be flattered." The flatterer is an opportunist. They seek approval, not truth. Their compliments are weapons disguised as warmth. They make you weak. They want your guard down. The Stoics ask us to develop self-awareness, not dependence on the applause of others. Ask yourself, who flatters you more than they challenge you? Who praises you when you haven't earned it? Who disappears when you need honesty instead of praise? Flattery without honesty is not kindness, it's corrosion. Epictetus said, "If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said of you, but answer, 'He was ignorant of my other faults, else he would not have mentioned these alone.'" When you know yourself, you don't crave hollow praise, and you don't fall for those who offer it. The Stoics taught, character is built on truth, and the truth is rarely flattering. Second, the perpetual victim. We must have compassion, yes, but we must also be discerning. There are those who are wounded and those who cling to their wounds. The Stoics believe suffering is part of life, but victimhood is a choice. Epictetus taught, make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. The perpetual victim blames everything, the economy, the government, their past, their boss, their neighbor, you, but never themselves. They see themselves as a target, not a participant. They shift the weight of their pain onto others, and they refuse to heal. Stoicism teaches that we are responsible for our reactions, not the world, but our response to it. The perpetual victim is allergic to accountability. They drain your energy. They distort your empathy. They expect you to carry their emotional baggage and never put it down. Seneca warned, you must live for yourself. If you live for others, you'll always be in debt. Help those in need, yes, but don't confuse enabling with compassion. A victim who refuses growth becomes your jailer. They lock you in a role you didn't ask for. Their sorrow becomes your story. Ask, do they take ownership of anything? Do they want support or sympathy without end? Are they growing or repeating? The Stoics offered us freedom, but we must choose it. We must not chain ourselves to those who refuse to walk. Third, the secretive planner. The Stoics praised honesty, not because it's easy, but because it's essential. Seneca said, truth is the foundation of all human excellence. The secretive planner hides their intentions. They smile while they scheme. They pretend to help while pulling strings. They call it strategy, but it's manipulation. They're the just playing devil's advocate type, the one who meant well, but always creates harm. Why be cautious? Because virtue loves the light, and manipulation needs the dark. The Stoics believe that your character is visible through your choices. When someone conceals their motives, they conceal their nature. Ask yourself, do they avoid directness? Do they tell half-truths? Do they twist logic for their advantage? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Never value anything as profitable to yourself that shall compel you to break your word, to lose your self-respect, to hate, suspect, or curse another." Trust is earned through transparency, not just in words, but in consistency. If they hide their plan, they're not building with you. They're building against you. The Stoics taught us to watch behavior, not promises, to look at motive, not just movement. A secret kept without virtue is a secret against you. And a plan you don't understand is often a trap you can't escape. Fourth, the emotional manipulator. They don't argue with reason, they argue with guilt. They twist your empathy against you. One moment they praise you, the next they blame you. Stoicism teaches that emotions are guides, not rulers. Epictetus warned, "No person is free who is not master of himself." The manipulator thrives on your instability. They keep you walking on eggshells. You're never sure if you've pleased them or offended them, but you're always trying. The Stoics believed, control your emotions or someone else will. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The manipulator makes your mind a battlefield. They win by confusion. They feed on your self-doubt. Ask, do I feel more grounded after speaking to this person, or more confused? Am I growing or shrinking around them? Do I spend more time apologizing than living? Stoic strength isn't cold, it's clear. The strong are not those who never feel, but those who feel clearly and respond wisely. See through the fog of guilt and choose clarity over confusion. Fifth, the promise breaker. Words are cheap, actions are truth. The Stoics didn't judge by intentions, but by outcomes. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." The promise breaker loves commitment, in theory, but in practice, they vanish. They say yes, but never show up. They apologize, but never change. Why does it matter? Because trust is a virtue, and virtue depends on integrity. Ask, do they follow through? Do they remember what they said? Do they make excuses more than changes? Seneca said, "A promise is binding, not only before the gods, but among men." When someone breaks their word, they fracture something sacred. They chip away at your trust and your peace. Guard your circle, not out of fear, but out of respect for your peace. The Stoics knew, you become like the people you keep, so keep your company clean and your boundaries strong. These 5 people, the flatterer, the victim, the planner, the manipulator, the promise breaker. The Stoics didn't warn us to hate them, they warned us to see them. Because trust is sacred, peace is priceless, and your soul is too valuable to be handed to those who don't protect it. So choose carefully. As Marcus Aurelius said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts, and the people we allow close color everything. In the end, we become what we tolerate. So guard your peace, sharpen your discernment, and walk with those who live by virtue and not just speak of it. If the Stoics could warn us across centuries, would you listen? This isn't just ancient wisdom. It's protection for your mind, your peace, and your life. Subscribe now for weekly Stoic insights that cut through the noise and guard your soul from the people who slowly destroy it.